Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Last of Us Infected Analysis. I'm really trying to grind this out to kind of finish off The Last of Us analysis, and like I said, I've had so much other games. We only have a few more Infected to go. But yeah, really just trying to grind it out at least one episode every week. That's what I'm striving for. But of course, I have other things in the wings for as far as content goes. But yeah, today we're gonna be talking about the shambler. It's the second stage down from the bloater. So after the shambler, it's the bloater for the infected stage. Um, Now this is a new infected. It's only seen in The Last of Us Part Two, and it's introduced in The Last of Us Part Two. It's a very interesting infected, and we're going to get into it. So, shamblers are an alternate fourth stage of the infected that are introduced in The Last of Us Part 2, encountered in Seattle and Santa Barbara. They are believed to have developed from exposure to high amounts of water compared to the typical dry environments. Bloaters develop in after infection to the cordyceps brain infection. Uh, the existence of shamblers was first hinted by rumors spread among members of the Washington Liberation Front about a variant of a bloater that had mutated due to the heavy rainfall and the humidity in Seattle. These rumors turned out to be true, as a WLF soldier discovered while on patrol in Seattle. The soldier was ambushed by a shambler, which they killed, but its acid pustules, I think that's how you pronounce that, exploded and burned them. During Ellie and Dina's journey throughout Seattle, the two retreated into an abandoned subway where they encountered a group of infected, including several clickers and shamblers. The WLF followed, resulting in a three-way battle between Dina, Ellie, and the WLF and the infected, in which Ellie and Dina fled the WLF, were left to fight with the infected. During the battle, two members of the WLF were chased off by a shambler. One was wounded in the shambler's acid. Another WLF soldier tried to defend him from a shambler when using his handgun, but it was able to get close and kill them. By unknown means, shamblers also inhabited Santa Barbara, a hot climate rather than a wet one. Ellie encounters them while searching for Abby Anderson in the summer of 2039. They live in abandoned houses along with stalkers that the Rattlers do not control. And Rattlers, the gang in Santa Barbara. Shamblers are horrifying walking hostile clusters, that spray gaseous acid when they get near the player and take massive damage before dying. They move slowly but are capable of shifting into a sprint if noise alerts them. When feeling threatened, they instinctively fire bursts of acidic spores cover their entire body, leading to oversized heads and torsos with dozens of pus spores around them. In addition to this, their mouths have been stuck gaping wide by the fungus, preventing them from being able to bite. However, the growth has not consumed their arms, and their eyes are still partially visible. Once defeated, these festering threats explode with violent force, emitting a cloud of spores that deal heavy damage to the player. It is suggested that shamblers were in the process of mutating into bloaters, but heavy exposure to water from the constant rain in Seattle caused them to change into shamblers instead. However, they are encountered in areas away from water, such as the suburbs of the city and the forest areas. Indeed, there are also several shamblers that Ellie encounters in Santa Barbara. Now let's talk a little bit about their combat. Like all infected, shamblers suffer high damage from fire attacks and explosive weapons. While resembling bloaters in size and appearance, they appear to lack their immense strength, as Ellie and Abby are able to wrestle them off themselves if grabbed. However, their movement is just as sluggish, if not more so, with most survivors able to outrun them if attacked, though they can climb up and over obstacles. They are also shown to be far more numerous than bloaters, occasionally appearing in packs. The ideal way to take down shamblers is by using flamethrower bursts and throwing Molotov cocktails to deal intense fire damage. Players can also use trap mines as Ellie and pipe bombs as Abby to defeat them. Further, like most infected, the shambler groups can be drawn together by throwing a brick into an open area, lure them together for maximum damage without alerting them into one's position. Shamblers lack the fungal plates found on other infected, such as bloaters and clickers, which makes them vulnerable to precision damage. And that's pretty much the Shambler. It was a very short kind of article. Once again, the Last of Us Wiki, where I get all my Last of Us info from. Great site. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Shambler. Very interesting new infected. It's an alternative to the bloater, and it makes sense, right? It makes sense why they're how they are, instead of just turning into a full-on bloater after, being a clicker for years. It turns into a shambler because of all the water and everything, and makes sense. Seattle, it rains a lot, so it makes sense that they're in Seattle, basically. Now, Their eyes, for me, I've their eyes are very interesting. I don't know why, but they're kind of like glowing eyes, in the dark when you see them in the dark. That's just something that I wanted to throw in there. I don't know why for the shamblers, but that's something that I've noticed. But they're a very interesting creature. It's a very interesting kind of infected, a new infected, and it's pretty much interesting, to say the least. Interesting infected, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. Just trying to finish it. We have probably about two more infected to go. Next one we're doing the bloater. Then the last one we're gonna do the rat king, which is another new infected, and it's very interesting. And we'll get to that. So yeah, that'll be the very last infected analysis, and just kind of wrapping up the entire Last of Us analysis as a whole. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Really trying to crank it out, as I said. But yeah, make sure to subscribe for more content, like video, all the good stuff. Discord, Twitch, Instagram, links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video.